Majma! Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream. I have Net with me today. He's going to be playing my rubber duck, since we are going to be working on the data pack for the Minecraft.
Majima.
Mhm. Let's go and hop over to our testing world. And last time... Oh, you hopped in at just the right time. You
I'm still
joined the game
loading.
right as I switched the thing.
That's convenient. I'm still on the loading screen at the
Yeah, I
moment.
figured. But it was a good point. Wait, am I not... Oh dear, is there another thing I have to fix?
Are you not
Oh,
actually streaming?
well no, I am streaming, but I just popped into the water and then realized that my little wet counter didn't go up.
Oof.
And I was like, okay, hang on, what's going on there? So,
For a
turns out we,
minute there, you
we, we might be starting
had
with
me.
bug fixing today, rather than trying to work on the skeleton species that we had originally planned on working on. But let me run a quick check. Let's see, I still have my wings on, correct? Yep. Time to test out the flight again, make sure that that's still working. Yep. I hear the wing flaps, and I can fly. I'm doing fine. I don't know why this is not making me wet. Would you mind hopping in the water for me?
Yeah, I can do. Let me just head this way and do it. So I'm in the water.
Oh, you're wet. Why did I not get wet? What the heck?
Yeah, why is it only triggering for
Uh,
me?
oh, hang on. Is it because I have the... Am I still burning in sun? Is that still what I have affected right now? So it's function... Yes, a... No. Right, because I need to check the scoreboard value for that. So it's scoreboard, objectives, list.
Hmm.
No, not list. What am I saying? Set display, sidebar, and then we want the PS burn in sun. Uh, you are a species that burns in sun. That's why you're on fire and I'm not. Oh, right, because I was last testing the burn in water, so I think I'm a species that burns in water at the moment. So if I switch this to burn in water, I am indeed. So, oh, that's why when I hop in the water, I get the wither effect. And I just entirely
Okay.
forgot that that was a thing. It's always
That's
funny
fair.
when you just forget what you're working on.
I
By
don't
the
think.
end, like, we're gonna have one person caught on fire by sunlight, another person burning in water, and someone else who, like, can only stand in shade, but it's not like they'll burn for some reason, it's just they'll instantly die, and it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, I don't know who's what.
Also, first time showing off custom model.
Oh no, you had the custom model last time.
I did. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I remember.
So the custom model is just fine.
Yeah.
And
This is
then,
broken.
so what I need to do is scoreboard, objectives, no, players. I need to set me to 0 as a player that is hurt by water because I don't want to do that anymore. So set key to cat burn water to 0, and then let's make you not burn in sun anymore either, since we're not testing that. I will leave the winged species because that is just too much fun to not be able to do whenever.
Yeah,
There
I'll
we
be
go.
sad if it's no longer available for
Oh,
me.
wait, hang on. Apparently there is now a Baxter Q set as a player, which is
Ooh.
not a player. Oh, what's funny is I located you by the sound of the flap. You're like, where did you go? And then I heard the flap to my left, and I was like, oh, there he is. So that's good. I am glad that is working out. It'll make it harder for flying creatures to sneak up on someone, which is actually really good considering that the Phantom's whole thing is going to be I'm going to fly to someone and attack them. Because they will do like extra damage if they are attacking someone while flying. But for now, we
Yeah.
need to work on the skeleton is the one that we wanted to set out for. And the skeleton we've currently got burn in sun, so that's done. I need to figure out whether I'm starting with what, like, they're immune to poison, hunger, nausea, and blindness. Whether I do the water breathing underwater so that they never drown, or getting haste, night vision, and resistance in the dark, or whether I make wolves angry first. And I think I want to start with wolves angry because that's the one that gave such a hassle last time, and the one that I think is going to be weird in multiplayer. Because I've set it so that wolves get angry at the nearest skeleton, I believe, is what I aimed for. Because you can only set them angry to one thing at a time.
Mm.
So I'm going to hop back to the testing world, and we're going to make a little holder for wolves. Actually, why don't I just kill those cows, and we'll use that one. So let me pull
Also, I've
out...
hidden my wings now, and I can still fly, so that's quite nice.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to make it so that you, like, have to have them showing, you just have to burn that slot.
Here comes
Actually...
the PTSD.
yeah, I'm just gonna do kill at E-type cow. Actually, no. I could just do at... no, I'll do at E-type cow so I don't accidentally break something.
Yeah.
Type is Minecraft cow. I still love synchronized death. And then I'm gonna get rid of all of those items so that we're not lagging out too much. There we go. And then should I kill all the golem traders? Nah, I'm just gonna do the other route of dropping them off the edge.
Poor thing.
I still love the wet particles. Because when you're in like the void or something and this is one of the few places where it won't actually rain, but you'll still get wet. Because it doesn't rain in the void, but it's not on my list of exceptions for like dry places. If you're in a desert and it starts raining, then you won't get wet. Ah, I just cannot land on this glass for some reason. Right. Wolves. Wolves was what I was aiming for.
This thing's your progress bar, right?
What's my progress bar?
This thing?
No, that's actually what I made to try and figure out how much damage I wanted each of the different wet, like the amounts that you could be wet to do.
Oh, fair.
Let me stick down a couple wolves. So, like, the bottom bar is just the full health bar. That's when you're entirely dry, which is why it has a dry sponge. And then, the bar above that is if you are in the rain with a helmet on. That is, like, the max amount of damage that can do. So you're basically just taking a health nerf and dealing with wither for a while. But it won't bring you down past this point, essentially. And then, the next one is if you're in the rain without a helmet, so that'll do an extra heart worth of damage. Then the next one is, if you are standing, like, in one high water with boots on.
Okay.
Or... right, because if you're standing in one high water without boots, I think it does this thing? No. Hang on. I get turned around on this as well, because I think that's one high without boots. Because the next one is one high with... no. Hang on. I'm getting confused, sorry. Yes, this is one high with boots, this is one high without boots, or submerged with armor on. And then, if you have no armor and are fully submerged, you can just be killed by water. So that's what I have it currently set to. It's kind of hard to remember. I tried to use item frames, but I really just need to stick signs on it or something. Actually, let me do that now while I'm thinking about it.
It's a good visualization, though.
Yeah.
Helps keep it nice and balanced without it feeling too extreme.
Okay, so dry, rain with helmet, rain, no helmet. And then we have the, water, one high, water with boots. And I think you also have to have pants with this one, if I'm correct. And pants. Because you essentially have to be covered where the water is touching. And then this is
Okay, that's fair.
1 high, no armor, or submerged with armor. And then this is submerged, no armor.
Mm.
Okay, so there, I now have labels on it. And I'm still
And
kind of pissed that you can't, like, detect a splash bottle of water. There is just no way that I have found. And if anyone has found a way, please let me know, because I would love to be able to have someone literally throw a water balloon at someone else and have it actually affect an Enderman. Because that would be my ideal. If you could just, like, do that, and now someone is wet, and they have all of the negatives or positives that come with that, that would be brilliant. Because
so you can't detect anything from a splash potion?
you can detect splash potions. You can't detect a splash bottle of water.
Okay.
Though you also can't detect a mundane splash potion either. And the way that I found to tell if you can detect it or not is to make it a lingering one. And if it lingers, it can be detected. Otherwise, you can't. Because neither the mundane
Mm.
water bottle, or the mundane lingering potion, well, I guess this one's an awkward one, nor the lingering water bottle will, like, be detectable. It just doesn't work.
It's kind of sad because I know there are some methods out there where people just spawn something where it lands and then
I
uses
mean,
that to
yeah, I could
detect
do
things.
that, but I'm trying to keep this as light as possible, essentially.
That's
And,
fair.
like, as much as I would love that, it's not crucial. There are very few times that someone's gonna go and do that. So
Except maybe Skelly Man. That's probably the only person who'll probably run along and go splash water.
I mean, he does do pocket sand, so
Yeah, I don't think a splash water puddle is out of his repertoire of
yeah,
pranks,
it's.
to be honest.
I mean, I would
If,
certainly do it if it's available too, just because it's not
yeah.
that difficult to make, and I could see like Merlings using it as a way to continue traveling outside the water, because you just splash it and you're like, okay, I can survive for a little
Hmm,
while longer. So
hmm,
it's gonna be interesting to see what all can be done with that. But for now, we have to try and figure out the wolf situation.
hmm. As a
'Cause,
workaround, I guess you could have Merlings drink a water bottle.
I mean, yeah, I could do Merling's drinking water to get wet. And I'm probably gonna make Enderman take instant damage from drinking water bottles.
Fair enough.
Just because it works. They can't do water very well.
Hmm,
So then, if we go over here and switch over to the coding. So the Anger Wolves function that I made before was a thing that, where is this? It found any wolf within 16 blocks of the player and then ran Anger Wolves. And
hmm,
the Anger Wolf function took the UUID of the player
hmm,
and then uh, would just make it angry for a specific amount of time. But
hmm.
I'm realizing that I may have messed that up as well, because that doesn't have a limit on the thing, and it's doing a tag for PS Skeleton, but I'll just change that to a tag for do they have the Anger Wolves attribute.
Are they angry?
Because I mean,
Are
I'm
angry.
probably gonna make sheep players also Anger Wolves, because wolves will automatically target sheep.
Fair enough. That
So
makes sense.
I figure that can be another nerf for that one. So at any attribute that could go for more than one species needs to be its own little attribute thing that you just trigger.
Yeah. Are you missing God Rage yet? Do you miss?
I'm trying not to think about it. Luckily, I'm much more focused on I need to test things. So it's
Because
a
we
lot
both
easier.
know how much Key really loves, you know, God rays.
I mean, Atlas is the one who more loves them, but they both love them.
Yeah, they both
Or I both love
excruciatingly
them.
love them.
They are amazing. Alright, so Burn and Sun is done, Burn and Water is done, PS Wind. So I need to make a new folder, and this needs to be PS underscore A underscore Wolf Anger, or Anger Wolf is gonna be better. Anger Wolf.
Hmm.
And then add new folder functions. So then essentially what this is going to do is basically the same thing actually, because surprisingly that anger wolf function thing isn't that, like, it's probably not as kind of close, or it's not as optimized as you could get it, but it's pretty darn good. Because it's
Hmm.
not using like any extra entities or anything like that. Literally all it's doing is running 3 commands over and over.
That's
Hang on, was it 3? Yes, it was 3, because one of those was a comment. For a second I thought it was 4, because there were 3 lines in this. Mm. Though I guess the thing that I would like, if I could, is some way to like check if the wolf is already angry, and then like just move on. But it's probably better that it just keeps checking. So then, like, as long as you're in front of that wolf, that timer's not going down.
okay. That makes sense.
So then I need essentially 2 functions. One function that is just wolf check, so it checks if there are wolves, and then the other one is anger wolf, which is what the wolf actually runs and says, I am angry at this player. Let's do new file, and we're going to do wolf check dot mc function. And then this one is going to be literally just that same check from our skeleton function. Though, now I have to figure out, because I realized when I was spawning in wolf, that we have more than one kind of wolf in here. And I need to figure out how many of them actually get angry at skeletons. Because I don't know.
Hmm.
So let's do... What?
Probably all of them.
That's... Okay, there are more mobs than I remembered. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this, and then we're going to make our little testing spot over here. Actually, no, let's do, out of fences. We just need a small space, somewhere to fit just a couple mobs. And I would recommend pulling out a glass sword just in case you need to help me kill something. So we are going to stick down first our control group, which is just the normal wolf. And here's a skeleton. Immediately angry. Alright, so that skeleton is still there, so we can just keep moving on. How about a winter wolf? You are a big guy.
Yeah, he's probably not scared because he's so big.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess winter wolves don't like bones.
Hmm.
What mod are they even from? They are from the Twilight Forest.
Maybe they get angry at other things. We'll have to do some extra testing.
Maybe. And then we have the Mist Wolf.
Which is also...
Oh!
Oh, he gets angry.
Yeah, he liked that skeleton. Let's... Yeah, he zoomed in much faster, so I take it that Mist Wolves also will not like skeleton players. So I'm gonna pop you, and then hostile wolves. I don't think I actually need to do anything about. They're just hostile wolves. I don't think they even have the.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
there we
yeah.
go.
I was gonna say I thought it wasn't gonna
Yeah,
affect
I
anything.
was kind
No,
of confused by that for a second. Okay,
it just
get rid of
means
you.
that they're always alerted to anything.
Yeah, and then we have the desert wolf, which might have just crashed the game.
Oh, I think I just crashed. Yep, probably because it's not supposed to be in a void one.
Maybe? But that's kind of. Yeah, it crashed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saving while than exiting right now.
Alright, we will get this back up. That's one of the kind of annoying quirks about doing testing like this.
Could also be Optifine. Actually, no, because you wouldn't have crashed in that case, because you turned yours off, correct?
Well, Optifine is still counted as kind of there, even if you have it off. So it could be an
Yeah,
Optifine thing, but I kinda doubt it.
it was a no exception.
I don't entirely know what
Meaning
caused it.
something didn't exist when it should. Neither do I. Probably something mod related, where it's expected to be with something else, maybe, or in a very
It
specific
it
place.
could be that because I think the desert wolf thingy was from the new that new sand world thing that got added in Valhalsia. So I could see like
Hmm.
maybe something wasn't set up right, or maybe it was a work in progress creature that isn't actually like spawning in that world or something.
Yeah.
Because I know some mods will like include work in progress stuff, which is
Yeah. They just
kind of
never
iffy.
show it usually. Yeah, but Valhalla does a good job of hiding things in JEI that aren't supposed to be available.
I mean, you say that, but if you look in the creative menu, there are entire tabs of just this is work in progress stuff for this mod. And it seems a little silly to include that if you ask me. Like I could get it for
Fair enough.
testing,
Yeah.
but if you're releasing it, then you should have your not work in progress stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can fork your own work for a reason. You can
Yeah.
have a testing version and then push it to a main development version.
I mean that's why I'm working on version 1.1.0 while version 1.0.3 is on the server.
That's true. Who knows? Maybe they're a new developer. Maybe they're still learning.
No, Twilight Force has been around forever.
Fair. Maybe it was just an oversight. Maybe
I feel like it's
spaghetti
probably
code.
more just kind of a practice that they do, even if it's not the best practice. Because sometimes you'll find groups, companies, people that abide by certain practices that just aren't what they should be doing because
Hmm.
it's just what they do. Uh, yeah, looks like I'm not even gonna try pronouncing that username. Don't do that.
I think it
Because
might be a bot.
I assume so. I'm just gonna call it out anyways because I don't do that. uh, and unfortunately, I don't know how to actually delete that from chat. I would if I could. I guess that's the
If you
next thing
make
I need to figure out is
if you
how
make
to
me a
actually delete.
Twitch moderator, I can try and see if I can remove the message from chat. If you like,
Uh,
if you even know how to make something
yeah,
moderator.
that's why I'm saying this is something that I'm gonna have to like look into
That's fair.
because I'm not even sure I've set myself as a moderator, if that makes sense, because I don't see an option to
Ooh.
ban it or to
I
like
think
get rid of it.
owners are just automatically made moderators of
Yeah.
their own chat.
Do you see his thing in chat still?
Yes.
Okay.
He's also no longer existing in the users too. So he came in, sent the message, and then left.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. Because it looks like he's targeting small streamers, and that's kind of shady practice.
Yeah. I kind of want
So,
to take that link and report it somewhere.
I mean,
Because I know you can, I just don't know where.
I'd
Eh,
say you could probably screenshot the message and then just report the user to Twitch, because that's shady practices, and maybe they can do something about it. I'm not sure.
yeah. Trouble is, a lot of bot accounts, they make like 400,000 accounts. And
Yeah,
just
but
like,
that's also against the Twitch terms of service, where it's like making multiple accounts to get around bans and stuff.
oh yeah, true. And if they get one account, they can kind of watch it for a while. Because a lot
Yeah,
of companies tend to do that. They watch purposefully to see how they work, and then they can make it stronger on the back end.
so
Let's
yeah,
see.
probably after my stream, I'll report it myself as well, just to make sure that hey, they're aware of this.
Username,
But yeah.
spam
Anyways,
maliciously.
so now to not give more promotion to bad spamming people. What were we talking about before this?
We were talking about the walls and broken mods and
Oh yes, the work in progress stuff and best practices and stuff like that.
yeah.
Because yeah, I've seen a lot of times where it's like they don't do the best practices, they just have their own practices. And I'm pretty sure that's for like all industries, not even just computer programming and stuff. And
Hmm.
heck, I'm sure a lot of times I don't even go with best practices because I just have my own practice and it's what works for me. That startled me. Oh shoot, no, the thing is still there. So it I spawned in and crashed
Ooh.
because I was not expecting to like close my like menu thing and then just hear the wolf get shot. And it was only after that that I realized what the heck just happened. Ah, I don't know how to fix this, I guess. Because I don't know
What?
how to. Like, if it was a server, then I could just run a kill command in console or whatever. But this is a single player world.
You could take your world and put it into a server, and I don't know. This is actually kind of dangerous because now we can't get back into the test anymore.
Yeah.
You can also delete the chunks if you can figure out how to delete the
I
chunks as
mean,
well.
it's a single chunk world. That's gonna delete everything.
Oof.
It's a void
You
world. I'm
could
not gonna have
can
anything to stand on.
can you change it to peaceful somehow?
Maybe? But I'm not sure if a desert wolf is considered hostile.
Damn. I think we're kind of screwed. Cat.
I know it took damage in that like tiny little bit that it was open. So if I open and have it crash enough, the wolf is just gonna die, supposedly. Problem is, I have no idea what its health is because it wasn't around
Yeah.
long enough for me to check.
And we have no idea if it's gonna just kill the thing that's killing
Sure,
it.
yeah, it might kill the skeleton first, and then we're just kind of screwed. Hmm.
What have we done?
Well, I mean, this
What
is
have
the dangers of modded, essentially, and we're going a step further and
Yeah.
writing a data pack for modded, so of course we're gonna hit something. But really, all you can do is try your best, and heck, I mean, I can make a new world for this. That's not gonna be too difficult. I'm gonna lose my setup, unfortunately, but aside from that kind of pill or that wall of lanterns, the lamps or whatever, there's not really all that much that I have like written down in there because it's all outside of it. And even with that thing, I could easily remake it with just the code because I know
True.
what's in there. So I think our best bet is probably just to make a new world, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was also recording that well too for a test, but I didn't get a chance to save it because I crashed.
Yeah.
Because it only offers a save after you quit, basically. And it's like, do you want to save this? Which is kind of a bad practice, really. I really think it should be like saving periodically. Because imagine doing all the work for like an entire episode that you were going to make or something, and then just crashing and losing everything.
Sorry, I got distracted. What did you say?
I was saying, imagine doing an actual full-on like TV series with like a replay viewer
Mm.
and like crashing right at
Oh.
the end of your recording or something,
Yeah,
and
no,
like
that would be annoying.
I would cry so hard,
I bet.
which
So
is probably why you should.
hopefully you're saving along the way for one and doing just a scene at a time so you're not losing too much.
Yeah, that works too. You just quit the world whenever you finish a scene, or the recorder does. Not everyone has to quit, but just the
Yep.
person recording, essentially. And good practice for that kind of thing is you have multiple people recording. So if one crashes, hopefully someone survives.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it on a server and the server crashes, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah, but that counts as a quit because it doesn't crash Minecraft itself. You quit and then it says, "Do you want
Oh.
to save this file?"
Wait. Oh, because we were playing land, that it counts as an actual crash.
Yeah.
So void test 2, game mode creative, difficulty normal, cheats on. Data packs needs to have the actual data pack, so let me load that in. Where is my data packs folder? Documents, Minecraft, data packs, Java, player species. Yep, come on. You go there. Okay. So I added that data pack. It's now validating that data pack. So we should be good on that. And I'll probably encourage you to build random stuff to help with testing while I code the angry wolves thing.
Yeah, I can help with that. I just need direction on like what
Yeah.
you want me to add.
And then we need world type. Where is what? Come on. Super flat presets. The void. There we go. Use preset. Done. And then generate structures off. Done. Create new world. Because essentially what we need is water, somewhere to contain mobs, probably a nether portal, just so that we have access to the nether if we need it.
Hmm.
You're free to go decorative if you want, or you're just free to slap it down like I did. It's a test
Slapping
world.
down is probably good because if I put too much work into it and we crash again, then it's just gonna take
Yeah.
exponentially more time to do it.
I mean, it's up to you for how creative you feel like getting. The main reason
I'm
I went
probably
for
just
such
gonna
a
be
large pool at the last one is because I'm eventually going to be working on Merling swim speeds. So I need something long enough that I can kind of figure out how fast it feels.
Mm.
Alright. So I've got the thing open with the new world. There, cheats on. And world. And let me get you that port. Let's see. There you go. There's that port.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we know don't touch desert wolves. I'm just gonna make this thing affect normal Minecraft wolves, because actually, first test I should actually do is seeing if the other wolf that we found that attacks them is a like if it'll attack players normally. Because if it attacks players normally, then I don't have to care.
Mm. Like encrypting and all that shenaz.
Okay, so it was the Mist Wolf, I believe. Which was also from the Twilight Forest, so I'm kind of surprised that the Winter Wolf didn't. Let me actually pull out the Winter Wolf again. So then if I pull out a skeleton, I'll walk you down. Yeah, it's only the Mist Wolf that is doing it.
Fair enough.
So then... I kind of don't get why.
Just hear chaos and see.
Yeah, pretty much. I need my sword, so... Sword... Alright. Die, both of you. Alright. I see you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to test this. So I need to hop in here and then go in survival mode.
Oh no. So I'm also a guinea pig, not only a duck now.
Do I need to stick you in survival mode? You should have cheats on. Oh, no, we got it. Yeah.
Oh, I get blinded too.
Do you?
Yes.
Is that what that effect is?
I think.
I don't know. But that makes it easier, so yeah, I only have to care about wolves. Your inventory is right here. Alright. So if that's the case, then I can just hop back over to our coding setup and
So
literally just drop in the thing.
Place for water for testing.
Yep, something that I could actually swim back and forth in to test speed.
I'm trying to keep it like in the same area. I might put a little bit of a gap though.
And then I need a new file. Anchor wolf. Let's see. And then Anchor wolf is going to basically be the exact same thing as this one over here.
Do you need it all one type of water? Does it matter if it's shallow or do you want it?
I mean, I would like
Wonderful.
at least 2 deep. 3 deep is probably best.
3 deep it is.
And then limit one order at sort equals nearest. So that should get the nearest one, but this needs to be player scores equals PS underscore A. Oh, I haven't even added the actual thing that is the scoreboard value for Anger's Wolves. anger wolves. So that's good.
Okay.
And then hated by wolf species. Oh, and I need to update those because those were not capitalized at the start. Alright, so now I need to go to my uninstall and update the thing to remove that. Because if you add it, you need to remove it once people want to get rid of your thing.
That's fair.
Alright. Wolf check, still just execute at player that has this thing triggered. Search for wolf within 15
that's the
blocks.
water then.
And then this needs to do TS A, and this is under anger wolf, and it needs to run anger wolf MC function. Oh, this is wolf singular on this one. So that should be fine. TSA underscore anger wolves equals 1 or more. Limit 1 nearest. Save that. Okay, good. So the capitalization remains the same. So then now all I need to do is trigger this somewhere, which is probably going to be in our main function. And then we are going to say, check if player is angering wolf. And we are going to execute as any player that is able to anger wolves. And we are going to run function PS.
Oh,
Oh, hang on. So, anger wolf.
I like the sound of placing down nether bricks.
Nether brick is a cool sound. This is going to run wolf check. That should be fine. But I've just... Oh, okay, so that's fine. For a second I was worried that my naming convention was messed up, because I've got the A capitalized in the scoreboards, but I don't have it in the actual folders. And sometimes it'll auto-complete with the other version.
That's fair.
So I think that should be everything I need to get this working. So let's go ahead and update. Actually, no. First, let's plop in some wolves. And this time, some normal wolves. Ones that won't break things. Oh, that's... Okay, so yeah, the desert wolves are from Adam, and they apparently have wolf armor. So I take it they're a really cool thing that I unfortunately can't do anything with. And maybe 2 more wolves. 1 more. Okay. That should be plenty of wolves to test with. I'm not sure that's actually big enough for swimming. I'll worry about it later. I'm not working on Merlings anytime soon. So then I need to do the actual uploading this into the folder. Which, did it keep up the folder? Yes, it did. Okay. Oh dear. It has relocated the folder on me, it looks like. That, or it's just like completely... Yeah, no, that's not nice. Okay. I'm gonna go the other route to get to this folder, which is open up Cursed Forge. Forge. Such a weird way of saying it. Okay, and then go to saves, avoid test 2, data packs, then delete the one currently in there. and paste the new one. There we go. Do that. And now I should be able to switch over to testing and then do that. Are you in a safe spot? Well, I guess you're in creative, so you're always in a safe spot, but
Yeah, I'm safe.
okay. Reload and face the lag. Because hopefully this shouldn't take too long, and then I can just set one of us to anger wolves, and then have them fly off and see how long it takes for the wolves to not get angry. Oh, reload failed. Hmm.
Oh,
So I have royally screwed something up. That's not a good sign. This is actually the first time I've ever had that happen. So what did I mess up? Because player angles. That is a new one. What happened? That I've had like functions refuse to be recognized,
mm. Did
but that
data
means
get corrupted when the world crashed?
well, no, because this is stored in a different place, so this is not even
Okay,
touched by
okay,
the
fair,
world.
fair.
Because I know better than to store what I'm working on a world. I at least have that as best practice of you keep your like production and test environment and your actual source separate. But the fact that it just entirely fails tells me that it's either the init or the main that is just instantly failing. Because I don't know what else it would just kind of hit and then say, no, I'm not doing that, going back to what we had.
I have
So,
no idea.
yeah, that's kind of a weird one. Because that's execute if PSA angle wolves, and this is the right scoreboard, right? Say anger wolves equals one or more. That's exactly the same as the check burn, so that should be fine. Run function ps underscore a all lowercase, anger wolves lowercase, wolf check, which is indeed a thing. Uh, is it? Let me test this. So if I pull out just the create the scoreboard objectives, because maybe it's that my like visible name for this thing is too long and it doesn't like that because sometimes Minecraft can be silly about how long things are. Nope, it created it. So if that's fine, then it can't be the the init because that's the only thing changed in the init. So then I guess I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna comment out that execute line in the main and see if it'll load. Because essentially that's all I can really do is start removing things and see when it starts working again. So let's pull up
Mm.
the player species folder.
I also have another pod already. I don't know what else you kind of need at the moment.
Uh, at the moment, nothing much, I think. So
I
let's
like
switch back
playing
over
Obsidian.
this.
Very moody.
And then reloading. And yeah, I like crying obsidian a lot. It also gives you nice particles if you play with it, right?
Yeah.
I actually used its particles to try and figure out what rain could pass through. Because you don't get rain in the void.
Oh yeah, true.
Reload failed again. Uh,
Did you actually place in the world file? folder.
I placed it in the Datapack folder. It's in the right place.
Hmm.
Let's try commenting out the init again. Well, I never commented that out, but let's try commenting that out. And then I think the other thing... Hang on. Did I find it? Because I feel like that's slightly different. No, that's still the same. Okay. The only other command I changed was the Datapack, or the data modify entity, because I specified the scores limit and nearest. So I'm gonna change that as well. So let's change that and then reload. Oops, that is not what I meant to do. I hate it when I accidentally move a thing instead of just copying it. Alright. Reloading. Let's see if it'll do it this time. Failed again. What did I mess up this badly? Did I get the thing placed in the wrong place? I didn't think I did. I'm wondering if I placed the folder at the wrong level or something.
It's a shame there's not much things you can do for debugging. Like, you have to manually place, like, messages, like, loading this section,
Yeah, you have to
loading
do a
that
lot of
section.
say whatever. And no, it's at the right level.
Which probably isn't a bad idea in the long run, to add, like, loading messages for certain sections so you know which ones are actually being initiated and
Yeah.
which ones aren't.
Which, luckily, most of the stuff I'm messing with right now is stuff that you get a very, like, simple... Like, you put in 3 lines and you either get the outcome you looked for or you don't. So let's see, now everything is commented that I changed. And trying to think if there's anything else that, like, I could have accidentally typed something somewhere and broken something. But I don't think that was the case. Oh, I also added this in the uninstall, so I guess I'll comment that out too. And then... Burning Sun... Yes, angered. That all looks right. So that should be fine. That's the skeleton ones. I don't want that one. Wolf check. Anger wolves is fine. Okay, so that's all saved. So let's try and port that over again. And hope that this works. Testing. Reloading. Very nice nether portal, by the way.
I threw it together in like 5 minutes.
It's still quite fancy for throwing it together in 5 minutes.
Yeah, considering I'm not much of a builder in the first place.
True. I feel like I kind of tend to forget that. Because I'm like, but you have such a nice house, and I realize, no, I built your entire house.
Yeah, oh, I'm getting kicked out, so it seems like this one's actually loading.
Yeah, it loaded this time. So, I don't know what the frick that actually says. Because I commented out everything. And I don't remember what the last thing I commented out was.
You said you added that into. God, now my memory's failing.
Because I think one of them was the uninstall. But that doesn't make sense for why that would be crashing. So I guess really what I'm going to be doing is adding things back one at a time. Or, like, because there are essentially two ways that you could go about it. You could either add things back one at a time, or add half of the stuff back. If it breaks, remove it again, add half of that stuff, and keep keep doing half until it's whatever. But since I've only got like 10 lines max out of this, I'm probably just gonna do it one at a time. Or in this case, I'm gonna start with two because the uninstall and the init always tie together in my mind.
Hmm. Oh, the recording's did save. That's cool.
Oh, very nice.
So it seems like it was waiting for me to initiate a disconnect before it saved. Probably a bug with the porting over from
Could be.
or I was just completely blind when I got to the main menu.
I keep accidentally hitting Valhelsia 3 full. It's like, no, I'm trying to go over to testing. So I might need to reorder things there.
Numbering them will
Kind of
help
bad
keep
time to
them
join
in
the game because I'm just doing a reloading now again.
order.
I'll let you know when it's stable enough.
Fair enough. I may be leaving soon because it's like 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm hitting my limit again.
fair enough.
So I don't think you really need me for this kind of thing.
I mean, it's nice having someone to help test the multiplayer aspect of it, but
Yeah, I'm more talking about ironing out kinks
yeah,
beyond my own control.
this bit is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I imagine so.
It loaded in, so it wasn't that, but I've still got other things to uncomment and try and figure out what it was. So let's do the Anger Wolves first, because that one doesn't rely on anything else. And I feel like it must have been this one, but I feel like that wasn't the last thing that I uncommented, so I don't know. Reload. There's reloading again. Have you got any good plans for the weekend?
Nothing new, unfortunately. Just same old, same old.
Fair enough. I know I have gotten roped into going to see a movie with my coworkers on Friday.
Sounds
And
fun.
it does. I'm a bit worried because it might set off my dizziness. And I initially tried to do the kind of graceful decline of, oh yeah, I've got plans with my boyfriend. And their response was, invite your boyfriend.
And you're like, oh shadookas.
Yeah, so I told my boyfriend what had happened, and he's like, sure, I'll go. And I'm like, okay. Guess I'm going then.
Okay, just completely ignore my concerns.
I mean, I'm not gonna be the one driving, so it should be
Yeah.
fine.
What was the movie that you were going to see?
We're gonna go see Black Widow.
Okay. My dad's looking forward to that film.
Alright, so now
He's
I've got
a big Marvel fanatic.
fair enough. I'm gonna try uncommenting both of them. Actually, no, I'm just gonna uncomment the wolf check, and then uncomment main after that. Oh, dang it. I accidentally just closed my Visual Studio Code. I am just doing everything wrong today. Luckily, it's very easy to just pull back up and it saves your spot.
Visual Studio Code seems to be pretty good with that kind of thing.
Yep, apparently the only concern is that my stream is now not picking it up. So I apparently have to fix that. Let's see. There we go. It is now registered which one it is, so we should be fine now. Alright, so I've got that in place, now I can reload. And then if this one works, it's just one left, which doesn't tell me what broke it, because the only thing left is the main. Which was one of the first things that I uncommented.
Watch it break when you turn it back on and not understand a single reason why it's breaking.
If it does, I might have to switch what I'm doing for the rest of the stream, because I am not in a mental space to figure that out. Like, if it's just copying old things that I've done and reworking them in the new format, I can do that, because that's just refactoring. But...
It's completely understandable.
Yeah. Okay, so that worked. So let's try and uncomment the main now and see how that works.
Watch nothing break and like...
If that's the case, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I fixed it. I don't know how, but it's fixed.
I turned it off and on again.
That's legit what it is.
Tech support scammers were right for once.
They're not tech support scammers if they're telling you to turn it on and off again.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Yeah, call center people are not automatically scammers. There are a lot of helpful call center people.
There are.
There are also just a lot of scam call centers.
Especially when COVID hit, they probably got a massive hit in targets because...
Yeah, I guess
it doesn't really take an idiot to fall for that kind of thing. It just takes someone under a load of stress and life issues. Maybe
someone stressed, someone lonely, or someone who's
not in the right mindset at the very specific time that they got.
It's fixed.
Okay. Magic.
Now to see if it actually works, because I haven't done that yet. So if we do scoreboard, players, sets, Kita Cat, Anger Wolves, 1, they are now all automatically angry at me.
That's cool.
So then if I fly away, and can you load in to check and see if they get unangry?
I will do.
I think. Yeah, they're still angry right now. It should take, it's set to 600, so it should be a reasonable amount of time. But I also don't remember what that fully translates to, because it's been a while since I set that.
I'm encrypting and just loading at the second. I shall be there momentarily.
Sounds good. I see you joining in.
I should be there soon.
I'm trying to think of what I'm going to work on next, because this is almost wrapped up. There's just a couple bug fixes left.
That's a good point.
I've got either the boostness, the boostness? I was about to say the boost they get from darkness, but just instantly slammed the words together.
Boostness.
Yeah, so that kind of dark bonus. Or I've got the immunity to hunger or whatever. Or I've got water breathing.
Okay, I'm in.
Welcome.
So, do you need me to go into survival?
No, just go take a look at the wolves. Because if their eyes are still red, then they're still angry.
They are not angry.
Okay. And you can be near them just fine. And then if I wander
their
over,
eyes are
instantly angry when I get within 60. And I think, oh wow, I'm even within 16 with that last guy there? Alright. So yeah, that has automatically made everyone angry. And then if I go into survival mode...
I'm dripping on them, apparently.
Yeah. And now they're already jumping at the cage, trying to get at me.
Go get her. Be free!
Luckily it's a fence, so they're not gonna do that.
Well, there's a fence,
Game mode.
but what if I,
I'm in creative mode, so it doesn't matter.
Damn
Yeah,
my
so then
threats.
let me set my anger wolves back to 0, and now they'll still be angry at me until I go away out of sight for however long it takes. Because they'll remember they're angry at you until they forget about you, which is what that timer is for. So let me know once they're not angry.
I hear a lot of growls right now.
Yep. I'm just hiding over here.
How long is the timer? Oh,
Uh,
they've forgotten about you.
Yep. That's why I said it shouldn't be too long. It's like just long enough that things calm down or whatever. It's not gonna get you unwet at the moment because you're currently standing in rain. So.
Sorry, I'll go burn
Oh,
myself.
so hang on. Let me make us winged species again. So scoreboard, players, set Kita Cat, winged to 1, and then set you to 1, and then I want to do /function ps underscore a wings give. Huh. What?
Executed 2 commands.
Cause it needs to be. What? Why did it not? Is it? Hmm.
You're asking me.
Yeah. There we go. I used the wrong one because I've got 2 different wings give. I've got one that gives the actual like scoreboard value, so my scoreboard value right now is probably 2. But there's one that gives the actual unbreaking wings that you can then go jump off the side with and instantly start flying.
Now, to do the glitchy glitch of hiding these wings, so my character's wings take preference. I can never take off, god damn it.
Try from somewhere higher. You've got this little step thing here. Or just jump off the edge like I do.
Yeah, I jump off the edge, but I was seeing if I could do it on this world because it's less pingy. But apparently not. Apparently I'm just really bad at taking off.
I mean, it's also just harder when you're in creative because you'll go into the flight or whatever. Rockets are so interesting with this now too. Because
Yeah.
you have the 0 gravity or whatever when you're looking straight. So you just continue gliding.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that that's sorted, I can go back to my coding setup and figure out what the next attribute I'm working on is, now that we've got the
You can
wolves
also
in place.
technically hover in front of someone too.
Can you?
Technically, if you're creative with the way you move your mouse.
Oh yeah, because if you do the straight on, then you're like not actually falling, and you just need to kind of wiggle around so that you have basically 0 forward momentum, and then you're just kind of there.
Yeah, which is a good way to
I think it
story.
looks weird though, because you're going to be like horizontal flying, so you're just kind of lounging in the air in front of them.
Like it's like a charge up move or something.
Weird.
Boom! I broke the sound barrier. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
So then we've got the immunities, the boosts, or the water breathing are the next options.
Okay, it's pretty late for me, so I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna head off for now.
Sounds good. I'll probably work on water breathing because it's the next very defined one that I know several species are going to use.
So in terms of percentage, you're pretty much in the 90% range of this
No.
section of data packing.
Nowhere near 90%. I have gotten 2 out of the 5 attributes of a skeleton done. And a skeleton is 1 out of, what was it, 5 species that I need to get reworked? So no, I am not 90%. Nowhere near 90%.
You wish you were
I
90%.
wish I was 90%. I wish that I was already done with this refactoring and we had it loaded and could do the new special rituals that I haven't even done yet. Because that's another thing that I really wanted to add, and I'm gonna have to rework how they're doing because I don't want it to be constrained to that one spot. I think we're gonna act like it is
Hmm.
constrained to that one spot, but it's not gonna be. Just because I
Yeah,
want
you'll
this to
get
be able
there
to be ported
eventually.
to some other world and not have to worry about it.
Hmm. You'll get there eventually, though.
Yeah, I just need to
At
figure
least.
out what the players need to be holding, essentially. Just
Hmm.
something that marks the player as this is who is having their thing changed.
Skulls might be interesting.
Skulls? Skulls could be interesting. But I kind of more want like a ritual item or something like a scepter or something. Something that is like utterly useless or whatever, except for this purpose. So
Hmm.
I think it depends on like because we have to pick something that could work like actually in a ritual and make sense. So I suppose we could also do like a specifically named weapon. If they're hit by it, they're marked for whatever.
Hmm.
Because that one might be good.
Yeah, that would be an interesting way. Just like sacrificial, like.
Yeah, just like I need a drop of your blood. Come stand over here, kind of thing. Because that would make sense in like the how you're changing or whatever. Hmm. I don't know.
Interesting thoughts. Anyway, I'm gonna go before you ramble for too long.
Yeah, I do that a lot, don't I?
We both do, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. We're both bad influences on each other.
We just keep rambling. It just happens.
Yeah, I will see you tomorrow, Kat.
All
Have a
right.
good night.
Have a good night. All right. So now then, I'm gonna figure out water breathing is what I wanted to do. So if I pull up the actual thing, let's do new folder. What did I just do? No, that popped up a window way over here. That's not what I wanted. New folder, and this should be ps underscore a underscore uh breathe water. Breathe water. Uh oh, that got put in the wrong place. That needs to be in data. Yes, move into data. Okay, so now breathe water is there. Now add folder functions. And then I need to add the water breathing attribute to this. I'm going to put it after burn water because that makes sense to me. Burn in water, breathe water. And then can breathe under water. And this is not the must be wet that Merlings have. This is just if you're underwater, you have water breathing. Oh, breathe water has max characters, so let's do PSA breath water? Yeah, breath water is close enough. So that'll do that, and then add the uninstall to it, because I don't want to end up having to manually remove it later. Save that. And then we don't care about wolf check now, we've got that done. Main function is going to be calling whatever later. So we need the actual breathe water functions. Let's do new file, and this one is just going to be check player underwater MC function. And then this one is going to basically be the thing that runs the give or remove. And that is checking if their eyes are underwater, then do it. So even if it's a like one high block of water that's at their head, it should still trigger and give them water breathing. And this will trigger unless the player already has water breathing. And then, how do I want to keep this triggered to only players that have this attribute? Because water breathing affects skeletons and merlings and probably several other water-based creatures. It mainly affects skeletons because they don't have lungs. And then, so this currently just checks if they have the water breath, which is the scoreboard value for if they've been given water breathing rather than if they have water breathing. Because I don't want to take away if they've had like a water breathing potion, though. Like that's still gonna be like if they go underwater and get this then come out, it's still gonna remove it, unfortunately, but there's not really much I can do about that. So we need the water breathing give and water breathing remove, which, did I actually already have that? No, because I've just got predicates in here, so I don't have functions yet. So I might as well just port those over along with the scoreboard value for the water breath. And then I think, because it's going to be easier to have it just eliminate anyone who is not a water breathing creature and not run this than it is to have this split over there and have it run for everyone. So it's just if they're a water breathing creature, check if they're underwater. And this actually needs to be renamed to, because this is not actually checking if players underwater, this is checking, this is the water breathing toggle. Water breathing toggle, I guess I'll name it. Do I have any other functions that I've done check underscore burn and stuff. I think it was just the wolf that I didn't do that for. Which maybe I'll go back and change it, because I like keeping everything in the same kind of vein, so it all makes sense when you read it the same way. So I will actually go and change these, so if I hit rename, I can then do wolf underscore check and anger underscore wolf. Rename anger underscore wolf. So that's fine now, but I need to rename it in here. So now this is doing wolf underscore check. And then if I go to wolf check, I need to make this anger underscore wolf. There we go. That should now work, because that's a simple rename. So then water breathing toggle. This is actually ps underscore common underscore effects here. Common there too. Common underscore effects. So I'll save that and then go to my init. And where had I placed the thing on the other one? So if I go to data, Minecraft, functions, nope, not Minecraft. Player species main, init. So this one, I had all the toggles here. which this is what I'm going to be running into. Because essentially, I had a toggle for everything to determine whether or not the data pack had already taken an action and changed something so I could undo it later if I needed. I probably still need to do that. And good, so we've got the toggle there. And we've got attribute controllers separated. So let's go ahead and take water breathing. And we will move that under flying, apparently. Save that. And then we need to go to the uninstall and uninstall water breath. So if we go to the uninstall function after flying, we're going to stick water breath there. Because I find it's always easiest to keep things in the same order if they're in two different places, even if they're doing like opposite things, just so that you know where to look for it. So then from there, we now have our water breathing toggle, and we just need to port in the actual functions that handle the effects there. So we need the water breathing give and the water breathing remove. So if I go and copy those, and then in PS Common Effects, new folder, functions, and then paste them in there, that should work. Because these are doing affect clear water breathing, and then set the player's water breath to 0, and the give is setting the player's water breathing to some crazy amount of time, and just saying, yeah, you always have it. And then this is doing... I think the one issue with this setup is that it does not check for if, like, the player drank milk. Because this is just saying, if they do not have water breathing, and their head is in water, then run give. So, what we actually need to do is add an additional thing that is a predicate check. And do we have water breathing in our predicates? We do not. But that's an easy fix, because we should be able to open up any of these that are set to this, create a new predicate, and we'll call this one water underscore breathing JSON, and then we just need to copy, say, the blindness one, paste that, and now we need effects water. What is the effect? So if we do effects, give, key to cat, water breathing, we should be able to just copy this and paste that instead of that blindness. And so instead of this Minecraft water, put Minecraft water breathing, and that will now check if they have water breathing. So now we can do, unless entity has a score of 1 and predicate is water breathing. Predicate. We need the PS underscore common underscore effects colon water breathing, right? Yeah, water breathing. then give them that, and unless entity is not that, and oh, but that's still going to do the thing. Though I suppose the answer is, at this point, we don't care whether the player actually has water breathing or not. If they were marked as given water breathing, drank milk underwater or something, and then immediately came out, we can still run the remove without any issue. So for this, it should only say, unless you've already removed it once, don't touch it. Well, sorry. Unless you've already removed it once, remove it, is what it's trying to do. While this one, it needs to be if the player is underwater and doesn't have water breathing, then run it. And it could be unless player doesn't have water breathing or has water breathing but isn't the water breathing that we gave. So like if they drank a water breathing potion and then went underwater, we don't want to wait until that 2 minutes or whatever is up. We want to immediately give them that crazy long time. So that should be fine. And then if that's all set up correctly... Oh, this is also not quite correct, because this is only checking if it's water. This is not checking for water logged. So what I want to do is quickly hop over to the testing world and see if that makes a difference. So like if we have a setup that is, say, let's do stairs and then cobble, just keep it similar. No, I don't want infested, I just want cobble. And then we get a sign, and we get a water bucket. So say we have something like, come on, whatever. That'll do, I guess. If I can get this lined up right. I'm just not having a good time with this. Okay, I'll just go up here and retry that. Put that there, put that there. And then this one needs to be like that. And then we could put this on either side. And then do signs across the bottom here. And then a sign at the front. And then waterlog each of these. Forget that it autofills sometimes. Alright. So now then, if we're crouching and go into here, yes, we are clearly counted as underwater. So we need to check if instead of their head being in water, their head is in something with water. Because, as you can see, the wet calculator already does this. So it is doable. I just have to remember how the heck I did it. If that makes sense. And I'm just gonna tidy that up. Just for my own sanity. Make it look like something, maybe. There we go. So now, if I throw all that stuff back, and we switch back to our coding setup, I can actually go and check how did I determine if the player's head was in fact in something waterlogged rather than something water. So that is done in the common, not effects, common wet. Common wet, we have the calculate wet, and then this is going to check if rain or wet. So if we go to rain or wet, then it will check if it's anchored feet. If at S. Oh, right, because water base checks both the block that they're standing, like their feet and the head. That checks both. And it runs the check if they're in water. And then this. Wait, what? Yeah, because this doesn't check how deep they are, correct? This water eyes. Oh, right, because I use a predicate for this. So that's how I set this up differently. So what I need to do is run the same kind of predicate for water eyes. Which I think is actually just what I need to do. Because if I do this predicate, we know that this checks for if their eyes are in water, which is also when you would need water breathing. So if we go back to this water breathing toggle, and we do if predicate equals that, maybe? Can we use a predicate that way? If predicate that. There we go. So if predicate that, then run that. And then unless predicate that as well. Let's predicate that run. And then we also want to, at this point, remove anchor eyes, because anchor eyes doesn't help us here, because that's already checking for if it's at their eyes. So we just need as at s at s. So that should be fine. So if I save that, now I can go to main and say check if player needs to switch water breathing. And then we're going to execute as any player, so at A, whose scores equals PS underscore A breathe water equals 1 or more, because we can't have 1 or more species that they are, so they could be 2 water breathing species. And then we're going to run function PS underscore A underscore breathe water, and then colon water breathing underscore toggle. Save that. So then that should all be functional. So I need to pull up my thing and reload the data pack to check and see if this is actually functioning properly. So then let's go back to game and then hit reload. And wait for it to reload. And yeah, that's been a goblin trader that we've been hearing grunting and groaning over here. But hopefully this should work, crossing my fingers, and we will be able to move on to either the immunity or onto the boost. Because I think that's mainly what we've got left, because the skeleton had 5 attributes. It was the Anger Wolves, Burn in Sun, Breathe Underwater, then they get the boost in darkness and the immunity. So then if I'm under here... Oh, right, I need to actually give myself the attribute first. So I need to do scoreboard, players, set key to cat, breathe water as 1, and then now if I go under here, this should give me water breathing? not for some reason, which is a bit concerning. Let's see if I go in proper water. No? None of that either? It's still wet, so that's still functioning. Let's see, scoreboards, objectives, set display, sidebar, as breathe water, yes. So, can breathe underwater is indeed, I need to fix that typo, because that, oop, I forgot to switch over. Can breathe underwater, that indeed needs the capital U. But then, this is either not triggering this, or it's not triggering one of the gives. I suppose one of the things I should double check is, does this ever come true? This specific predicate. So let's jump back to testing and make sure that that is indeed working how we expect. So if we go under here, I am clearly in something waterlogged. So if we do execute as, it'll help if we spell execute right, as any player with predicate equal to ps common underscore or whatever, ps common underscore wet. I'm gonna close that, and we're gonna run say hi. I said hi. So the predicate is indeed working properly. So that shouldn't be our issue. And you need to... No, come here. No, let me pick you up. There we go. Keep figuring out the shift. And then offside. Alright. So now then, we've got proof that the predicate is working. So we need to figure out if this is not getting called or if it's the function that's not getting called. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the start, go over here, and say execute as at s, say run, say breathing triggered, breathing toggle triggered, and then I'm going to go ahead and also go here and change that. And then let's say that we want to double check the effects water breathing give. So we're going to run a execute as at s, run say giving water breathing. That should be fine. Now we just need to reload with those tests and see which, if any, are being displayed when we go underwater and such. So from here we should be able to figure out whether this is an issue with the functions or something else. Because if the function to give water breathing is being called, then that means that it's running all the way through and it's just not giving the water breathing for some reason, so we need to go look at that give statement. But I doubt that's the case since this is copied from something that worked prior. So the most common issue is just that it's named wrong somewhere and it's not flowing through. So right now I'm a bit concerned that it's... because I should be already spammed with, say, whatevers. So that tells me that the toggle, for some reason, isn't being called. So that means I need to go check out that main function that is actually calling this. Because this is calling PSA breathe water. Water breathing toggle. Oh, there's the issue. 3 G's instead of 2, because I can't type. So I can save that, and I'm gonna go ahead and save my sanity and already remove these because I'm 90% sure that that is the issue. So since that is most likely the issue, I don't want to deal with having a whole bunch of says cluttering up my chat. So from here, we should be able to reload our data pack. And then reload. And hopefully that is the end of this bit and we can move on and fingers crossed maybe even get skeleton finished by tonight. Because if we can roll out one species every week, then we can have the entire thing reworked within the next couple weeks. And that's without me working off stream, which I might. But trust me, if I promise that we're doing something next stream in terms of this, then unless something major comes up, like some crazy bug that I have to fix, we're probably going to be working on that. There we go! Water breathing! So we successfully have the water breathing effect in the top left. And then I can go over here and hop in here, and I get water breathing. That is now improved from what is currently in version 1.0.3, since this now accounts for waterlogged block. So it doesn't matter where anyone that can breathe underwater is, as long as they're in water, it's gonna be fine. So now that that is sorted, we can get working on either the, which was it again? Let me get rid of the water breathing. We don't need the water give anymore. What I need is the skeleton main that tells us what we've done, because we've done Burning Sun, we've done Nether Drowns, and we've done Hated by Wolves. So those are the three key distinct ones that we've done. Now we need to figure out immunities, or the given something in the darkness. But I think immunities are going to be the one that I'm going to focus on next, because it's very easy. It's just the, if they have this, remove this. The main quirk of it now is going to be tying those each individually to an attribute. So say if you had someone who is some weird race, and I don't know why, but Beholder is the one coming to mind, where they just have a ton of eyes. You could say you never get blinded, and only that one. While skeletons are immune to poison, hunger, nausea, and blindness, because they lack the squishy parts. So they don't exactly have a stomach. So none of those first three affect them, and they don't have eyes either. I like to imagine that they see through magic. So blindness doesn't affect them the same way. So I know that actually came to a head, or that came up in the actual server with Gamma, who is a skeleton on the server. He was given a bag of sand, and the quirk of the bag of sand is that when you throw sand at someone, it makes them blind. But he didn't realize, because when someone did it to him, he didn't get blinded, because he's just immune to it. So it's quite funny when you end up with things and players having weird quirks of their species and just not quite seeing the world in the same way as others. And that's why I'm so excited for this data pack. Because there aren't many other, like, it's the asymmetric play thing. You end up, I'm not sure how many times you actually hear about asymmetric play, because it's such a kind of rare one. But I think one of the examples I would give is like D&D, where the actual playstyle of the players versus the playstyle of the game master, who is also a player in the game, are very different. They have very different goals in mind. They have very different things that they're trying to do. And this kind of helps with it, because Minecraft is very symmetric. If you play it without anything else, then every player starts from the same place. They have the same needs. They do whatever. Well, with this, players, like a skeleton player has no use for food. They literally cannot eat. but they might really enjoy the aspect of cooking. So now they have to try and sell food to others. Because otherwise they're going to end up with a whole bunch of food. And then you end up with players like cats who burn through food really quickly because they're always sprinting and jumping, and they're a very mobile species. So now you've got players trying to find the skeletons who have too much food going, please give me some of your food. So it's always a lot of fun when you end up with those kind of asymmetric setups where it still encourages people to play together because you have something that someone else wants. But like the real challenge is making sure that they're all balanced and that they're actually something interesting to even play with, not necessarily as. Because if you have like an overpowered species that is demonstrably the best, and like there is no doubt about it, everyone's gonna play as that. And heck, I've even been running into that a bit with my Soul Vulture race. Because the Soul Vulture, they have Crouch Slow Fall, they sap life, and it can, so when they hit, they'll steal life, but if they've killed a bunch, like in the couple seconds prior, and then hit someone, they're gonna steal more, because they're powered up by the kills. And then they have increased speed on Soul Sand, so it's like the Soul Speed enchantment. Then they have fire resistance, because they're a species from the Nether, and they're a carnivore, so they can only eat meat. If they eat something that isn't meat, they have a chance of getting hunger. So it's essentially like the same food poisoning that you get from rotten flesh, but they can actually eat rotten flesh because they're a carnivore, and things that are carnivores are fine with anything flesh. So even on like paper, it's not the like most powerful race. It's pretty good because you can keep yourself alive, and they do have decreased health. It's actually not listed there, but that's one of the things that was meant to balance out that lifesteal, because that is powerful. I've seen players survive the Nether, like falling into lava and having mobs surround them, literally just by continuing to whack things so that their health does not drop too far. So it's definitely powerful, don't get me wrong. But other than that, you're like, it's not all that much, and it's pretty balanced. And I've had plenty of players who have told me that they're going to be a Soul Vulture when they just see the list of species, like not even the attributes of them. So sometimes the kind of effect of everyone wanting to be one race is more akin to what that race feels like. So this one is the very edgy, cool, dark race kind of thing. Or dark species. I keep trying to say species instead of race. But I'm hoping that as I expand the list, we'll get more diversity. But we're pretty good on diversity. We've got at least one of every species kind of thing. But the Soul Vulture is definitely the most common. We've got at least 3 players, maybe 4 that are Soul Vultures. Whereas we've got, I think, 2, maybe 3 cats. We've got, I think, 2 elves. The one is only a temporary elf because she wants to be a merling. And we've got maybe 2 skeletons. So we're pretty balanced, but it is definitely, every time I talk to someone and they say Soul Vulture, I'm like, oh, okay, another one. Whereas I don't hear many saying, I want to be a skeleton. Even though they are very strong in terms of you never get poison, you never get hunger, you're never gonna drown. But you've only got the standard health of a player kind of thing, so you're gonna burn in sunlight. So you've got your negatives there. Plus, you're never gonna have puppy companions because they all hate you. Well, they don't hate you. They love you too much. They want your bones. Anyways, I have gone on too much of a tangent and started rambling to myself. So let's go for making immunities then. So I guess the question I want to do now is, do I want to have the immunities lumped into their own folder, or do I want each immunity to have its own folder? Because right now, I've gone through and done each attribute has its own folder. Because you've got the burn in sun, burn in water, you've got winged, those are all separate. But since immunities are literally just the check if they have the effect and then get rid of it, it doesn't really make sense to have a folder that's only going to have one file. I mean, if you want to get really pedantic, you can. Yep, hang on. Got popcorn caught in my throat because I tried talking with popcorn in my mouth. There we go. Drank some water. Got it out. Okay, hang on. I hear a zombie pigman. Hello, zombie pigman. Would you like a hug? Yes, you would. And now you want to go off the edge. It's always so fun to drop them. Anyways. So let's do, I think, one folder for all immunities, and then just keep them organized in that folder, because it's basically going to be the same function repeated in the different files. So it makes sense to organize it all in one place. So if we do new folder and then ps underscore a, no, ps, not pf, underscore a, we're gonna do immune immunities, yeah, PSA immunities, and then we have a new folder, functions, and then we're gonna do a new file, and then we're gonna do, do I want to start or end with immune? Let's start with immune, so we'll do immune underscore poison dot mc function, and then so I think how I did this in the original one was not actually in the skeleton, because oh right, I don't actually want to do a function for this, because this is handled through the achievements, because you can set your own custom achievements that will trigger when something specific happens, and one of them that you can do it on is when the player gets an effect, or when the player gets a specific effect. So as soon as someone gets, like, say, hunger, you can just instantly remove it and say, no, not happening. So those are actually in the advancements, and you can already see, like, blindness.json, where it does it. Oh, and it still does run the Minecraft effect. So I'll say that it runs the immunities thing, and if they're immune to it, it'll automatically remove it. So we want to go ahead and go to our effects, and then we want to add new folder, and this is going to be advancements. I think I spelled that wrong. Oh yeah, I missed a C. Advancements. And then let's just go ahead and copy. Do we want to copy all of them? Because essentially, what this is doing is it's just calling the blindness function. And I could have a variety of things happen when the player gets blind. And if you go to the blindness function currently, it only removes it from skeletons. But say, like, we go to the hunger one, and this one has several effects of when it could clear hunger. we could also just call multiple functions, I think. I think... For organization, I'm probably going to stick with going advancements to the effects function to the immunities, if they're immune. Just to keep things organized. Also, the advancements are great if you're doing something like the immunities, because then you don't check every tick if they have it. It only triggers when they get it. So that way you don't have to worry about overloading your ticks with something that's not really all that important. Because you're not actually calculating anything. Alright, let's go ahead and just steal, let's start with blindness. So we take this blindness one, and then we go over to advancements, plug that in there, then take the blindness function, and plug that in our functions folder. Then we can go to the immunities, and let's say new file, immune underscore blindness function, and then all that's gonna do is, where did that go again? Actually, yeah, we don't really need the immunities thing at all, because we could just do it here. It's a single command. And I don't think it's gonna change from a single command, because all we're doing is saying, if they get it, clear it. So I think, for our sake, we're just gonna delete that. So delete immunities. And then we're gonna say, in the attribute controllers, let's do a section for immunities. And then say, scoreboard PSA no. How do we want to do it? Because we've got to name it in a way that's distinct and very clear what it is. So we could do like no blindness or blindness. But there are some long names in there, which is why I'm kind of cautious. We've already burned quite a few characters just with the PS_A of what this is. I guess let's go with no underscore and then blindness. No blind. And then immune to blindness. And hated by wolves. And species doesn't matter there, they're just hated by wolves. And winged species is fine. Burns in sun we can have. Hurt by water is fine. Save that, and then we want to steal this bit and paste this in our uninstall, and then change add to remove here. So there's that, and then this is the one in PSFX, so that's not the one that we want. We want this one where if scores equals, and then it's the PS_A_. no blind that we made before. Oh, no, come on. I said no blind. No blind equals 1 or more. Then clear blindness. So remove effect from immune is what we'll change that to. So then the next one we need to do is... so these are predicates. Don't care about predicates at the moment. So it was blindness, hunger, nausea, and poison. So let's go ahead and do hunger next. Because, oh, hunger's a more complicated one, so we'll skip over hunger first and start with nausea. So we just need to paste nausea in the advancements, and then go steal the nausea function. And then we'll paste that in our functions. And then if we go to back to our blindness one, we can steal this PSA no blind and paste that here. Oh, not there. We want it here. And this is going to be no nausea. I misspelled that completely. A-U-S-E-A. No nausea. And then we can copy this, go to our knit function. I'm gonna just paste that there for now. But really, we're gonna copy this, put it there, and then take this bit and paste it over this no blind. So now we have no nausea, and they are immune to not nauseousness, just nausea. Immune to nausea, and then let's just go ahead and add the other one because it was poison, so no poison. And they're immune to poison. If I can type poison. There we go. And then if we copy these two, we can go back over to our uninstall and clear out the parts that we don't need and change add to remove. There we go. And then nausea, no nausea, clear nausea. And we actually want this to be remove from immune, not skeletons. And now let's do the same for poison. We copy our poison JSON. Put it in here. Oh, I almost forgot this needs to be the PS common effects because that did change between versions. Common effects. And then this one needs to be common effects as well. Save that. And then poison. PS underscore common underscore effects save. And then now we need to go steal that poison function. So then we go back down to our functions and paste poison there. And then let's clear out some of these files that we don't need anymore. We don't need blindness function anymore. We don't need the nausea function anymore. And this is the PS effects version, so we need PS underscore common one. That one's corrected, so we don't need that. We just need to steal the no poison thing from here. Scores equals, say no poison equals 1 or more. There we go. So that should be blindness, nausea, and poison added. We can control those individually, and we're going to have a kind of species add and remove version. So that's why everything is PSA, where we will have a PSS section, I believe. Because we have, I don't know why we did PS. Oh, right. We did PSA here just because I wanted it up at the top. But in this case, PSA stands for player species attribute. And I just need to come up with some other word or underscore thing. So I think I'll do PSS. Because so far we've got PS common and we've got PS help is our other one. PS position. This should be common. I'm not. Well, I was about to say I'm not sure why it's not, but then I realized that it's empty, so I need to just get rid of that. And then we have PS sounds, which is its own special thing, but also probably needs to be common. PS species is the folder I was going to put this in because I was going to do one file for each species. Well, it's probably going to end up being two files because you need the add file and you need the remove file. Because they're going to do the opposite thing. Unless I added something that just said if it's not that. No, I'm just going to do add and remove, keep it simple. Don't need to complicate it on that. Because these are going to be things that are run once in a blue moon, so they don't need to be entirely optimized, because you're going to run them once, and then it's going to be fine for that player. So the only time you're going to run it again is when either the player decides that they want to change their species, and you decide yes, that's fine, or if, say, like this initial time where everyone's species is now gone and they now have to go through the new ritual to get it back. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and rename PS sounds to PS common sounds, because I want to keep all the common stuff together. And then I need to go to winged and change where it's pointing to. I believe this is off of the flight controller. Yes. Or is it under main? Maybe it's under main that this is going on. PS... Is this even using it? Where is it? Oh yeah, it is. It's right there. I'm just blind. So common underscore sounds wing flaps. And if I remember correctly, all this thing is doing is just saying play this specific sound. Oh, this one is also giving hunger effects, which really I should be probably triggering somewhere in the winged function itself, because this should be doing no more than playing a sound. But since this is something that is its own thing, then I need to revisit it later, is more what it is. Because it could go either way. I could go either strict, it needs to be only sound controllers in here, or I could just say, yes, this is tied to a sound. You're not going to hear this sound unless this happens. Because currently all flying species will have this happen. So that flap sound effect is what tells them, hey, you've got a hunger effect going on, and whether they are wet or dry will determine how strong that hunger is. Because if they're wet, they're heavier and expending more energy to get off the ground. So now that I've gotten through that tangent again, let's see, poison is done, so we need to do hunger still. So, PSA no hunger is what we need to add. And then they're immune to hunger. And this is both hunger the effect, like the one that you get from rotten flesh, and just hunger in general, as far as I'm aware. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm incorrect, and I've done those two separately, but I've always lumped them together when speaking about the species, because skeletons don't have a stomach and thus don't need to eat. They will just be kept at highest level of food, though it is not necessarily that they have saturation. So that makes it quite a bit harder to heal if you're a skeleton, because you can't just eat to heal. So if I take that and add that to the uninstall again. Move. Nope, that needs to be something. There we go. Alright, so now let's scroll to the hunger effect one. Effect hunger. This is just removing it from players that need it cleared. So this one is how it's handling the cat hunger, because actually, wait, do I already have hunger as a function here? Because I'm already dealing with it. Or am I just giving it for a very specific amount of time? I must be just giving it for a very specific amount of time. Because this is handling it for, like, as long as they're sprinting, they are hungry when it comes to cats. So, basically anything can trigger hunger in cats. If they... And I'm going to set it where if they're... they are a carnivore. So if they eat anything that's not carnivorous food, then they're going to end up probably getting hungry. It's the same percent chance as if they were to eat rotten flesh, but since they're a carnivore, rotten flesh is fine. And yeah, dietary restrictions in Minecraft is fun. At least for me. It feels silly. Though it does lead to some pretty funny moments if you do it right. So like, cats are allergic to chocolate. That's something that probably people aren't as aware of as it is with dogs. So like, dog species will also have this. But cats specifically are allergic to chocolate, so they'll be poisoned when eating chocolate and cookies and things that have chocolate in it. And that's especially funny with cats, because when a cat gets hurt, it gets an adrenaline boost and a speed boost, essentially. So they will, like, try and run away from whatever damaged them, is ideally what they're supposed to be doing. But if they get poisoned, that means that they keep getting ticks of damage. And in this modded version, you have actual chocolate bars, which will give you a sugar rush. So if a cat eats a chocolate bar, you now have the sugar rush, which gives you the speed boost, and then you also have the speed boost from damage. And every time a cat is hurt, it meows. So now you've got a cat that is repeatedly meowing and just sprinting way too fast in whatever direction they feel like. And it can get a bit annoying if someone does it too much, but it's still pretty funny the first time you see it, because you just don't quite know what's going on. I know I have confused a couple people on the server with that before, where they're just like, what's hurting you? What's going on? And I have to say, no, it's fine, I just ate some chocolate. Alright, so now tangent over again. I keep getting in way too much of tangents and distracted all the time. But yeah, so it looks like this one is not doing the saturation. I think that's a separate one. Because that is doing... if we scroll up to the skeleton, we should see the saturation one somewhere. Let's go check the main function and see what's running it. Oh yeah, so I have just stuck the actual saturation thing in here. I need to move this out into its own thing, because that's going to be its own attribute now, of just, they can't get hungry. So I guess the question is, do I want that to be auto-triggered? Like, if their saturation is always going to auto-refill, then I don't want to ever give them hunger, because that's just going to give them more saturation rather than keeping them at that topped-off point. Plus, if they're quick about it, they might be able to eat something when they shouldn't be able to. So I guess what I want to do is maybe specify it, or maybe have one where it's like always full and then the always full automatically triggers you're immune to hunger. Or I could just have always, like, the immune to hunger just automatically trigger on that or that. But I think that it's a bit harder to do ors in Datapack. Ands are basically everywhere, but ors are basically you need a separate line for it, which is a bit more complicated with the advancements, though it's basically just always going to trigger the hunger thing anyways, so it shouldn't be too difficult. It's a little bit all over the place. I'm a bit busy now. What do I want to do? Because such a weird situation where it's so specific. I guess I'm gonna focus on just getting the hunger effect taken care of, and then I can revisit the saturation and see how I want to fit that in. Because the hunger effect itself should be just like nausea and whatever. So if we copy this hunger and then paste this in the advancements, so that should be fine, and then we need to steal the actual hunger function. And then let's go back to our hunger JSON and change this to common underscore. There we go. And this needs to be if scores equals PS no hunger equals 1 or more, or an effect clear hunger. I wonder if there is a species where you could want them to have the hunger effect, but to never, like, to always have the saturation. So I don't know what that would be. Because that would turn the hunger effect essentially into a positive. And if the hunger effect is a positive, that's a very interesting turnaround. Anyways, so right now we want to remove the clear hunger, because that's not a thing. So with that, we've got the immunity sorted. So we just have the saturation to sort out, and we have the boosts to sort out. And I think, since we were already talking about it, it's probably better to start with the saturation specific. So that means that we need to go back to the init, and this one is going to be scoreboard objectives. Add ps underscore a underscore never hungry dummy, and we'll have this one be never gets hungry. So then with that, we need to add the alternate to the uninstall. And then we need to change that to remove. And then I suppose the easy option is to just make a function like we did with the angry wolf, and basically just copy it straight from the skeleton. Because we've already done it once, so we shouldn't do it again. So let's do new folder. Yes, underscore A, underscore, never hungry. And then from there we want to add a functions folder to that. New folder, functions. And then we want to add a actual function for that. And we'll do, oh no, we don't want to do rename, we want to do new file. And we want to do, refill underscore if underscore hungry dot mc function. And then we will go back to, let's first get rid of all this hunger stuff that we don't need now. We want to go back to the skeleton that actually has this function. And this is the bit that we're stealing, where we give saturation if they're hungry. And this should automatically clear it if they have saturation and if they're already full. And since this is... Oh, though I suppose... Because the thing that I overlooked on this is, if they get saturation another way, do we want to allow it? Because right now this is saying, no, you don't, it's once you're full, that's it. But if we add the scoreboard to determine whether it's the saturation that we've given them, then we can remove it. It's such a borderline thing that I think it's probably fine if skeletons are exempt from saturation stuff. Because they've already got it topped off, so all that's gonna do is make them heal better. But if they wanted to heal better, then they should just do regeneration. So I think unless I get complaints about it, I'm gonna leave it as is, because I don't want to make more work for myself. And then, do we already have our PS Hunger? Yes, we do. PS Hunger already exists. So it's give saturation, clear saturation of that. So I'm just gonna save that. And then we need to add check if player needs saturation. And then we're gonna execute as at A with scores of PS underscore never hungry, wherever that is. PS underscore A underscore never hungry. There we go. Never hungry equals 1 or more. Then run function PS underscore A underscore. This one was the never hungry again. Colon refill underscore if hungry. Alright. So that should trigger that if they're a species that's never hungry, it triggers that, and then it goes in here, and then it gives that to the players, like if the player is that, and so it's gonna run 2 commands every tick. I could probably optimize that a little bit, or if I just execute as and have the selectors be that way. But it's only 2 commands. So it's kind of... Because regardless of how you do it, it's still going to do at least 2 checks. And what I'm unsure of is selecting a player more or less induced, like, more or less complicated than just saying give effect to anyone in this selector, because it's essentially just moving the selector outside of the command. But I think it's going to be fine. I think they're few and far enough between, and it's running short commands everywhere anyways. If it's a problem, I know to revisit it, because it is one of those ones where I'm kind of on the fence about it. But in theory, that should be our refill done. But I've realized that I've now done, what is this, like 5 components without testing? Which is not the best, I'll say. So we need to go and give that a test, and then we can go and try and do the haste, night vision, and resistance in the dark. But we're almost there. We're almost at the skeleton player species being done. And if we can get that done, then we're much closer, well, relatively closer, to getting this as a whole done. Because we've still got cat, elf, and soul vulture, I think, are our main ones right now. Because Enderman was on our list. I feel like I'm missing one, because it's cat, skeleton, soul vulture. Let me go look at the actual list that I have on our Discord of currently playable species. Skeleton, cat, elf, soul... No, it is just those 4. Oh, right, because I was always counting human player as the 5th option, because it is technically an option. So if we get skeleton done, then we are 1/4 of the way through the straight flat refactor, and we just have to get the additional add-ons that I was hoping to get done, which is the main one that needs to be done is the actual ritual aspect of this, because that's the main thing that this is, or that the 1.0.3 version was lacking, is that it was a kind of no fanfares, just run the command to set someone as whatever species they asked for. Whereas, oh, Green, thanks for the follow. I think I'm at least a little bit interesting then. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. I need to get the ritual aspect done, which I'm still on the fence of how the ritual itself is going to actually work. I'm doing really good. How are you? Are you interested in data packs and such? I've just been sitting here rambling about it. Because I know if you're not interested in data packs, you probably don't want to watch me on Thursdays, because that's my data pack day. But on Sundays, I'm planning on playing City Skylines, and on Tuesdays, I'm playing Planet Zoo. So I'm doing a lot of creative games, if that's what you're into. Yeah, so I've got 3 days a week I stream, and I will keep coming back for that as long as nothing else gets in the way. I was almost late today because I had to get home from work and it was a bit late, but I got on time, so hopefully I'll keep that track record. Though that's why I have my dinner unfinished sitting next to me. Let's see where I left off on the data pack in the meantime. Because it... Oh, right, I wanted to test it. That's what I was going to do. I keep forgetting I need to test it. It's probably already cold by now. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, and I had it at the very start of my stream. So it's fine. It's leftovers anyways. It's baked tomato pasta, so it's pretty good when it's cold anyways. Plus, I steal bites in between talking. You'll occasionally see me just chewing on something. So I do like how the camera picks up so many different things, because I can do puffy cheeks. So you'll occasionally see me do that, especially when I'm pouting about something not working. Let's get this data pack pushed into the game and port over there. Let's see, delete that, and then copy that over, and then switch to the testing layout, and pull up Valhalla again. Reload. There we go. Just need to wait for that. So we need to test whether the immunity to blindness works, the immunity to poison works, immunity to hunger, and it was poison, blindness, hunger. There was another one. What was it? This is what I run into all the time, of just having a big list of things to do and then forgetting. Poison, hunger, nausea. Nausea is the one I'm forgetting. Oh dear. My game is not responding. Oh, there we go. It's loaded. That's what I get for tabbing out while I was still trying to load. Alright, so I need potions, and I need a blindness potion. Actually, let me just search blindness. Blind. Is there not a blindness potion? I guess not. What is something that could... Well, I'll just run the give effect command. That'll work. So let's do scoreboard, players, set key to cat to no blindness. Blindness is a good one to start with. I forgot to actually set that score. Score 1. There we go. And then effect, give key to cat blindness. And we'll do 1 second amplifier 0. And I do not have blindness already. And it says it. Oh, okay. So I had it for a second there and it removed it. That's working. So let's get rid of the no blindness and let's do no hunger now and set that to 1 and then go to the effects and give myself hunger, and let's actually do 100 seconds just to make sure that this is actually working. Applied hunger. Oh! I was wondering why... Okay, so the other one, it's not actually working. It works once, but I've forgotten the command to reset the advancement, because if you're using advancements, you need to reset them. So you still have to reset them every tick. But it's still one of the less intensive things, because you can do it just on only players that have that advancement. So I now need to go to the code again and actually make that change. And I feel like I had something on the old version that just ran to do it. Revoke advancements used for detection. This does not seem to have the actual things. This is all just like player hurt, player death. That's not quite the same one. And then, so where did that one go? Because I know it's here somewhere. Let's see. Let's go check this blindness one again. It's still just clearing that. Affect blindness. I distinctly remember there was some thing that just was grouping the effects and clearing the advancements on those. Advancement. This is what I get for trying to mess with old code, essentially. What was it? 'Cause it was working in the other one, I know that. So it had to be clearing the advancement somewhere. It's just a question of where. Double check the main again. So this is storing the y coordinate, storing whether they're crouched or not, calculating if they're just standing still doing nothing, though that doesn't detect if they're like in a GUI or anything. Then it's running the skeleton main function, the cat main function, the elf main function, and the soul vulture main function. And it's supposed to be resetting scoreboards, which I don't think it's actually doing because there weren't any that I set up that way. And then it's player hurt, player death, if they ate something that's not vegetarian, if they ate something that's carnivorous, if they ate something that's not carnivorous, if they ate fish, or if they ate chocolate. None of those are effects, which is a bit confusing. Maybe it was something under common function, or was there? Cause I distinctly remember a thing where it changed the advancement once the predicate turned to false or something. So I know it's gotta be somewhere. It's just a matter of whether I can actually find it. Update effects, here it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Now where the heck is this actually getting called? Oh, it's scheduled, that's how I did it. Because if you're getting a bunch of effects in like a very short time period of less than 5 ticks, I don't care as much. Because you're doing something funky. So that's how I got that one working. And so I bet this one is actually just being called in the init on this one. Because, yeah, so this is doing update effects. And that's also how it's doing decay recent kills and calculate player health. Which, how is... Do I have any of those on this one? I do not. Which, I haven't even done anything for calculating player health on this one yet, I believe. Because I started with the wings and have gone to burning in sun and burning in water. I'll worry about player health later, because that one's a bit more complicated. So what I've got to do is get... Ah, that was a weird voice crack. I'm gonna grab some water. Alright, a little bit better, I think. I need to get that reset effects thing, which I think I'm going to keep that under common effects this time, instead of the common that it was under. But let me actually go ahead and just copy this effects one and paste it in my functions over here. And then, do I want to reset that? Because currently I haven't done anything with night vision, jump boost, fire resistance. I don't think these are actually even in here. So if I scooch this over here and then go to this, yeah, I don't have those scoreboards. So I don't need, also I can get rid of that because I'm done with that. These ones are unnecessary at the moment. So I'll just get rid of that and their header. Revoking advancements I definitely need. And then all of these PS effects need to change into PS common. Common. Underscore effects. And I'm just going to try and copy that and paste it all throughout here. Because I am not going to rewrite common that many times. And all of this is under the same branch, just renamed to be something different, so that it's easier to follow. The more I look at effects, the more it seems like such a weird word. Effects. It stops looking like a word after a little while. Alright, this needs to do... Oh, same thing there, PS common underscore effects. schedule that in the next 5 minutes. And then currently we don't have haste, so I can drop haste for now. We don't have invisibility, so I can drop that. We don't have jump boost, so I can get rid of that for now. Nausea we have, night vision we don't, poison we have. Resistance and saturation, wither I'll get rid of. Resistance we're going to add, but we'll get rid of it for now. And saturation. Do we have something? No, we just have those four as our current advancements. So I'm going to keep it simple and not have anything that we don't have yet in here. So then, with that there, I just need to add the call for this in the init. So I need to do function ps underscore common underscore effects colon this one was update effect. Save that. And yeah, so this is only affecting anyone that has an advancement but doesn't have the effect currently. So that should settle that. And I think I should be good to update and reload again. So let's go ahead and delete that and then copy our data pack back into the folder. And then go over to our testing and do reload. And I'm gonna go ahead and munch some more of my dinner while I'm waiting. I don't know if that was audible, but I just popped my jaw quite loudly. Felt really weird. I think if you're popping a bone, or like a joint or something, that one is one of the weirder ones to pop, just because it crackled and it's so close to your ear that it's so darn loud. Because like all the other ones, you just get like the slight pop and kind of the relief feeling most of the time. That one is just weird. Alright, so now that's done. What is my last score that I did? I did no hunger. So if I give myself the hunger effect, nothing, give myself hunger effect. Yeah, it just doesn't even show up. It clears it instantly, which is great. So now let's set the hunger back to 0. And then let's test out the no nausea, score 1, and then give the effect of nausea. Yep, that one's no nausea either. Set that score to 0. And then no poison. Oh, I just set that to 0. That does nothing. Set that to 1. And then give the poison effect. And nothing happens. Perfect. So now I can set no poison back to 0. And then I need to go into survival mode for the next one. Game mode, survival. And then we'll do the scoreboard, set players never hungry to 1. And then let's give myself some hunger effect. No, there we go. So we want to do, let's do 10 seconds of hunger 100, something that'll just blow through our hunger. And already it's like not dropping down below that half a thing, which is actually what I was aiming for, because I've currently got it set to trigger at 18, which is 1 full hunk of meat gone. So half a hunk, actually, no wait, hang on, because I don't, that's not going to work too well, because if I, like, now, give Kitty Cat steak, right, it's cooked, whatever, cooked beef, let's go with a stack. I can eat. So I need to set that to trigger at 19 rather than 18. And I'm surprised I didn't notice that before. So I'm a bit confused by that, but that's a very easy fix, so I'm not too worried about it. Essentially all that means is that I need to go into the refill if hungry and change this less than 18 to less than 19. And then that should be all that needed. Let's see. Do I want to go ahead and test that again, or do I want to try and do something more substantial first? Because we've essentially got most of the skeleton done now. We've just got the uh, in the darkness they get haste and such. Because we've already got burning in sunlight, we've got water breathing, we've got saturation sorted, and we've got wolves getting angry. So with all of that, we just have the detect if they're in the dark and do whatever. So now the main question is how to organize that with the current setup that we have. Because currently we've got everything where it's nice, neat boxes of this is this attribute, but this is essentially a group of attributes. So I guess this would be PSA dark boost, and then have it check for darkness, and then check for the actual different effects. Because if the player's not staying in dark, we don't care. We don't care whether they have this or not. And then from there, that should manage. The one tricky one to try and figure out is night vision. Because night vision has the annoying effect of if you have less than 5 seconds, I believe it is, it's either 5 or 10 seconds, it starts flashing. And that's a nice reminder that you're about to run out of night vision, but it makes it really annoying for when you're doing a command-based thing, because you can't just say, give them a second of night vision and keep doing that as long as they've done whatever they need to do. Because that means that they're always going to have it flashing, and I would rather not. I would rather this data pack and my server be friendly to people who may have epilepsy. Or just maybe bothered by flashing lights. Because I'm sure there's. If you actually have epilepsy, you're probably not going to be playing Minecraft that has fireworks and stuff. Or at least you're going to be significantly more careful than playing on some random server. So I don't imagine they're there, but I still like to keep accessibility in mind when possible and try and design in ways that isn't going to needlessly agitate. So, given that that's the case, I think the best way to go is still the trigger if they're in the dark. Treat it as such anyways. Because I can always break slightly if needed, like I have with the sound, the wing flaps, how that's in the sound folder, but also applies a hunger effect. So we want that to be something a bit more... I lost my train of thought. Okay. Anyways, let's make that folder for the darkness boost. So new folder, ps_a dark boost. And then we will make a functions folder beneath that. And then give me just one sec. Alright. Sorry about that. I had to send a message to my mom because she texted me. Anyways, so back to this darkness boost. Given that we've got that there, we need the actual attributes in here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add its own section, dark boost. And we're going to do scoreboard objectives add, and we'll do add d underscore haste. Let's start with haste. So we'll do haste in dark. And then the other ones we need to add are, so it's haste, night vision, and resistance. So we need to copy this, and then we'll do haste, night vision. We'll just do night viz, night vision in dark. And then we wanted resistance. And we'll change that to just resist. Okay, so haste, night vision, and resistance. So then I can save that, and now we need to add these to our uninstall to make sure that whoever has this downloaded and installs it can get rid of it. So I can get rid of these dummy sections because we're removing instead of adding. And then remove. Save that. Let's see. From there, we need to add the actual functions that handle this, because now we've got the holders of whether it affects them or not, and we need to do the actual does this work, or how does this work. So let's add a new file for that's the question. Do we want to do this as you have a single file that checks everything, or do you have multiple files? Because we're going to have something that checks darkness and then triggers a singular file. And then that file can either trigger multiple things, or it can trigger just the single lines as needed. Because essentially, if your thing has a chance of triggering just a single line, then it doesn't matter whether it's in another file or not, because it's still going to just trigger that single line. You might as well just keep it as a single line. But if it's going to say trigger 3, then you probably want to move it into its own file, and then you only need to run the check. And if it doesn't happen, then you don't even run the 3 line. So given that, if they have darkness, and then, actually let's take a step back and go see how this is handling it. So this is handling it by saying, if it's dark, run dark. And the dark function says, give haste, give resistance, give night vision, and then say they have night vision, and we have a remove night vision somewhere else. And that remove night vision has the check if they're in the dark and a skeleton, or check if they are a cat who is crouching, was the other one. So given that, we probably want to approach this the same way. Mm, but I'm a bit on the fence about how that's handling night vision. I think since I'm satisfied with how it's handling haste resistance, or haste and resistance, I'm just gonna go handle that first. Because if I'm happy with that, then I should just go do it. So first off, I'm gonna start hiding some of these. Oh yeah, that's not even the right thing. That's why I'm getting confused on where I am. Hide that. So we need this to be a new file in dark MC function. And essentially, I'm just going to be copying this bit first and adding an extra check here to say and scores equals to PS, where is it? PS underscore A underscore D haste equals 1 or more. And then I can I can copy this bit and paste it here and here. And then this turns into resist, and this turns into night viz. And then, so haste and resistance are easy enough. Those are just gonna handle themselves. It's night vision that might need to call its own function and fix its shenanigans. Because essentially, I've got two routes I can take. I can either hold night vision as its own thing and say all night vision is the same and you handle all the exceptions together, or I handle the night vision separately. But the issue then is if it clears one, it's clearing all. So really you have to handle it as one. So this one we actually want to copy this selector, paste that there, and now we can't do the if effects not that because we just changed the effects to that. So we do that, and then unless the score is of night vision is that. So we need to go stick night vision as a toggle. That's easy enough. We just copy this down here. Actually, even easier, let's just go back to the other init and copy that night vision line. Because we should have night vision right here. So we'll copy that, and I will go ahead and put that above water breathing, just to make things in about the same order. And then from here I should be able to copy this bit, and then I don't need this in it anymore, so I can go over to this uninstall and put the night vision in between the flying and water breathing, and save that. And then from here we need to change these PS effects to PS common. Can't forget to do that, otherwise you haven't actually named anything and it's going to be very confused on what you're trying to do. And since those are predicates, we should still have those because I believe I just copied the predicates whole cloth. So we've got haste, we've got resistance, and we've got night vision. So we've got all three. We're golden on that. So then the only thing left is removing that night vision. which I want to go double check how I actually did that. So I had this clear night vision function. I think that's being called in the update effects. Yes, it is. So this is the section that was that reset attributes that I got rid of just a few moments ago. So I should be able to go in here, go back to this update effects, and then have that reset scores night vision 1, clear night vision, and then we need to add clear night vision as a function in our pscommon underscore effects. Gotta make sure that we've got that updated. And then let's actually just go ahead and copy that clear night vision and use that as a jumping off point. So if I copy that clear night vision and then paste that in there. So you can already see that this has the predicate pscommon dark, which I think we don't actually have, so I need to go back and add an alternate for that. But instead of this, oh, 'cause now we have the issue of our things are split into several different scoreboards. So probably our best bet is to have a predicate that checks if any of the scoreboards are above a certain value. And then right now we just don't even care about the cat stuff. That stuff's not existing at the moment. So I'll go ahead and remove that. If I can make sure I highlight the right thing. Move that. And then clear night vision is fine. PS night vision is fine. So then I think whether it's dark is going to be falling under location, because we've got whether it's a biome dry, whether it's snow, whether they're near fire, whether they're in the nether. So I think whether they're in the dark or in the light should be counted as a location. So we will copy from common and then say copy this and paste this in the location predicates. And that is checking for if they're below light level 7. So that's how it's deciding, are they in the dark? Because that is the limit at which hostile mobs spawn. So that is when hostile mobs, such as skeletons, get their boosts. So now that we have that there, we can change this to pscommon underscore location dark and solve that issue. Oh, come on, there we go. And now the only other issue is making that predicate for is there any effect, or is there any of this? Because the only other option, if we don't go the route of the predicate, is to add them together in a different scoreboard. But I don't really want to do that, because that puts more calculation on the actual, like, data pack. Whereas a predicate is just going to run through it and be like, yeah, fine. That's why I have had to go through the other crazy predicates that I've done in the past, like checking every single block above the player's head within a predicate to see whether rain can pass through it. Because there's not much of an alternative there. There's an alternative for if you're checking for if they're standing in sunlight, because sunlight will set a block light level to 15, and the only other way to get that light level is if you were literally standing inside a glowstone block or something similar. Which I say if you are something that can burn in sunlight and you stand inside a glowstone block, I think you're gonna have a bad time. So I am perfectly fine with letting them burn inside a glowstone block. Anyways, so let's get that predicate set up. I'm actually going to pull up a predicate generator in a separate tab and see if I can just quickly pump that out. So unfortunately, you guys probably aren't gonna see much for a moment, or at least not much changing, but I'll try and talk you through what I'm using, because this is the Misode GitHub predicate generator thing. So it's very helpful. I recommend you could probably find it by just searching Minecraft predicate generator. It's pretty up there. But we want to set this to an alternative, and then we want to check for entity scores, and then we are checking for PSAD haste, and we want the minimum to be 1, or they can have the any of the other ones be 1, so PSAD night vision, they can have be 1, or they could have the entity score of resist. The resistance could also be 1. Add min 1. And now I've got my predicate generated, so I can go over to our effects, and then go under generated, and then, actually no, because I don't want this under effects, I want this under the dark boost. So I need to add a folder to dark boost, and we'll call this predicates. And then we need to make a new predicate, and we will say dark boosted.json, and then we'll paste our predicate in here. So you can see we've got an alternative where the score of the resist can be 1, the score of the night vision can be 1 or more, or the score of the haste can be 1 or more. That should satisfy what we're looking for, and if we ever need to expand this, we can literally just copy one of these, paste it, and rename the score on it. So we should be fine down the line. And then we want to go to clear night vision, and now that's going to be predicate equals that, or predicate, well, and predicate equals dark boosted. Oh, so this is PS underscore. Oh, whoops, I am in the wrong one. I do not want to be changing this one. And this is why you close things. We want to be in the clear night vision, this one. I was wondering why I hadn't updated that common location. So predicate equals PS underscore A underscore dark boost colon dark boosted, and that should be correct. So we just need to copy that here, paste that there. Now, the main thing here that I'm a bit like, we could optimize this, but it's so small that it doesn't quite matter yet, is that we're currently doing the same selection. So we're doing execute as S unless entity is in the dark and is dark boosted. And we're doing that twice. So that's not the most optimized. We could easily pull that out and then have another function that actually goes and runs the clear effect night vision and reset the scoreboard. But at this stage, I'm not sure that's going to do enough to really warrant it. I mean, I could go ahead and do it just to maintain like best practices type thing. But this kind of gets onto the conversation I was having earlier, where people tend to not do best practices just because they do their own practices, even if they know what best practices should be. And as I said, I am guilty of it myself. So sometimes it's best to do as I say, not as I do. But honestly, when it's like this small bit, it doesn't really matter either way. because essentially it's one of those ones you keep in mind if you start dropping ticks. Like if you start getting that thing in your console that says you are 200 ticks behind. Like if you start seeing that, definitely go back, fix all of these, make sure you know where they are, kind of thing. But honestly, once you're in modded, I've gotten used to seeing you are 40 ticks behind, because from at least our server that we're using, 40 ticks behind is not noticeable. You don't really need to worry about it. 40 ticks is where I like to be, essentially. Because it's once you start hitting 100, 200 that it's really noticeable and players start complaining and it's not fun. But I think for just our testing purposes, I'm going to say that's good enough. And I'm already 15 minutes longer than I was originally thinking we were going to go on this stream. So I'm going to go ahead and try and run this. If it runs, I'm probably going to call the stream there. And we will see what we can get done next time. So first, let's go in and remove the data pack from there and copy it from where we're editing it. Alright, that's set. Now I can change the view and hit reload. Did I forget to turn off my... Yeah, I forgot to turn off my Never Hungry. I will update that once it is finished reloading, because we should still have full availability to that. But that music kind of startled me for a second. It's because all the, like, entity sounds had gone quiet, and the fire isn't making any other sounds. I guess the music had triggered, like, just before the reload started, so it didn't realize, like, because normally it delays whatever new things it's trying to do. There we go. So that's reloaded. Before anything else, let's go ahead and get rid of that Never Hungry. And then we want to try out the PSA D. Let's start with night viz. So that's 1. So I should be able to just walk somewhere dark. What is the light level here? F5. So the light level here is currently 15? I am confused. Let's go stand in the light first. Oh, okay, so light level is 0 here, so it should be triggering night vision. Have I forgotten to set something somewhere? So if I do, scoreboard players, PS, night vision, set to 1, and then set it to 0. Huh. So night vision is broken. Let's see if the other boosts are working, or if it's none of them are triggering. So, night vision, haste, and the other one is resist. Okay, so none of them are triggering, so it's not detecting me in darkness. So if that's the case, then it's likely an issue not with the night vision itself, but with this in dark. Oh, you know, it might help to call in dark somewhere. I don't believe I stuck that in main. I got a bit too sidetracked, I think. So we need to add a check if player in darkness needs boost. And we're going to execute as at a score predicate equals ps underscore a underscore dark boost colon dark boosted run function uh, ps underscore a underscore dark boost colon in underscore dark. And actually, I've already fudged that up slightly because I need to do the if they're in the dark, then do it. But that actually is better than what I initially had in mind, because initially I was just going to do if they're in the dark, run this. But now I could say if they're in the dark and have some boosted ability. I don't care which, just some or one. So in theory, that should be the fix this needs. So let's go ahead and paste that there. And then switch back over to the test and reload. Now I gotta wait for a bit. But hopefully this works, and then I can just chill and eat food and then go to bed, because it's getting late. Yep, my food is definitely cold. It is ice cold at this moment. But it still tastes good, so I'm fine. Not really much I could have done about it anyways. Alright, so I am in the thing. I'm in the light. Now if I go to the dark, it's still not working? Let's see. Let's do execute as at s predicate equals ps underscore common underscore location dark. Say hi. Oh, I need to run first. Run, say hi. Okay, so I'm in the dark. It detects that. So now let's do PSA underscore dark boost dark boosted. Run, say hi. Okay, so it's not detecting the scoreboard predicate that I figured out before. So essentially, the issue is that this dark boosted predicate doesn't work. So either I've got the names of the scores wrong, or something else is going on. This is an alternative, so it shouldn't be all of these, it should just need one, but even if it did need all of these, I do have all of them on at the moment. And I think, just to be safe, I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste these from my list. I'm gonna get these organized. So now these are copy pasted, so I know for sure that that is indeed how you spell that. The other question is, did I spell dark boosted right in my command? Because it's just dark boosted. Dark boosted, yeah. Got PSA dark boost. Let's try running the in dark command or in dark function on here just to see if we can. So PSA for A for dark boost in dark. Okay, so it ran and then it instantly took off the night vision because it thinks that we're not a night vision, or we are not a dark boosted species. So that worked as expected, though it still just says that this is not working for some reason or another. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to this because my brain is starting to shut off. It's already 9:30 my time, and I've got work tomorrow, so I need to finish up eating dinner and go to bed. Plus, this has already ran a half hour longer than I intended, so that might be a common thing with these development streams. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch over to our stream ending thing. Uh, Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you again to Green for going ahead and following. I hope I'll see you on later dev streams. And if you guys have any ideas, don't be afraid to reach out, because I love talking about this data pack, and I love trying to figure out where it needs to go. Though, that said, whether I'll actually use any ideas you guys bring to me is a different question. And the bigger question is whether I do them anytime soon, since my backlog of things to do on this is ever growing. Because I have numerous species I want to get done, and the entire reason behind this refactor, aside from trying to make it run faster, is to make developing new species that much easier, since you can plug in any attribute you've already created. So anyways, I hope I'll see you guys next time. My next stream is going to be on Sunday. We are going to be playing City Skylines, hopefully. Last time it turned into a void and we had to switch over to a different game. But know that we are going to be trying City Skylines again. Hopefully it'll work this time. If it doesn't, we will probably be playing Planet Zoo. So I will see you there, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.